Welcome everybody. This is a very exciting new 8-part series for the BIM Heroes community, where we'll be discussing leadership for the AEC. I'm Ralph Montague. I'm a director at ArcDox for a BIM consultancy in Ireland, but I'm also the secretary of the newly formed BIM Heroes DAO Council. We have two objectives over the next 8 weeks. One is we want to use this opportunity to introduce our community to our newly elected Leadership Council members for the BIM Hero DAO. And over the 8-week series, we'll be talking to various people from the council. Our second objective is our vision, mission, and purpose in BIM Heroes to develop the next generation of digital leaders in AEC. Leadership for us is a very important topic. We feel that the AEC sector has a shortage of strong leaders, and that's really our mission, is to develop new leaders. So over the 8 weeks, we're going to be exploring different aspects of leadership, and I want to encourage all of those who are participating, who want to pursue leadership for your personal life, for your career, for your project teams or business, to start by taking our 30-hour CPD learning program on leadership development. It's a free program. It's available on the BIM Heroes platform to get you started. But as you probably hear today, leadership is not something that starts and ends. It's something that's ongoing. So today we have two of our Leadership Council guests with us. Our focus today is to talk about visionary leadership. We'll be discussing things like how to lead in these uncertain times of rapid change, where there's no maps available to us. We'll be talking about the balance between long-term vision and short-term realities, and maybe how personal and professional vision has evolved for our guests, either challenges they've experienced, failures, lessons, pivots, etc. So we have two guests with us. Ian Rogers is a quantity surveyor, a PPP project manager, and facilities strategist. He's joining us from Barbados. Hi, Ian.
Hi. Hello there.
And we also have Yara Oweiss, who's an architect, urban planner, and BIM manager from Atelier Architects in Luxembourg. So you're both very welcome. Yara, maybe I'll start with you and just give you a minute to introduce yourself to the community, and maybe just give us a short little introduction of your journey into leadership, and then we can go to Ian and we can carry on from there.
Oh, gladly. Hello, everyone. My name is Yara Oweiss. I'm an architect, urban planner, and a BIM specialist at Atelier Architects in Luxembourg. I'm also had the honor to be elected as a Leadership Council member for the BIM Hero DAO, the amazing platform, the visionary platform that we are trying to achieve and trying to accomplish in these years. Actually, my journey was quite a one. Let me say it was full of surprises. Like you said, Ralph, at the beginning, there is no path, there is no map. It's you think that you start your career somewhere, that you are now stable and able to start your life, and then life continue to surprise you and give you lots of obstacles, or maybe nice surprises or bad surprises. And so I had to change a lot. I had to start my life actually from zero again for 2 or 3 times. And this is the thing about, I think, about visionary leadership. It's quite different from the traditional one, where you have to manage just what you see is in front of you. You have to create the path in the vision. You have to have a vision. You have to see the future maybe before someone else. Everyone else see it. You have to also push people to go there and to accomplish things, even if they do not see what you see now. And it's quite difficult being a woman in a dominated man field to pursue these things, but I'm hoping that I'm achieving some of the goals that I have, and we are continuing. We will not stop. We will not surrender until we have our vision accomplished. And yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, I think that's a really good summary, because it's, you know, you're describing a journey, and it's a journey into uncertainty, but a journey that's rewarding as well. And so excellent. Ian, welcome. For some reason I don't see you, but hopefully you're on the screen. Do you want to give us a brief introduction to yourself and just a short little intro to your leadership journey?
Sure, yeah. I've been in the construction industry all my life, literally. I was born into it because my father had a small building firm. So I have understood the industry in depth all the way through. I was jumped into leadership at a very young age when I was appointed as a QS on a fairly large project. And the project surveyor I was supposed to be reporting to never turned up. And suddenly I became the project surveyor with about 18 months experience post-qualification. So I had to learn to swim very rapidly, or otherwise I was going to sink. And I think that epitomizes leadership, is you've got to embrace the unknown, the uncertainty, and keep going and come up with the results irrespective. And that certainly was what I did in the 3 years of that project. I turned that project round and proved myself to be a worthy leader from a very young age. And it's something that's continued all the way through my career thereafter. I've always had teams to manage from that tender age, if you like. When you start to put vision into it, it's very much about looking to the future for me. It's looking at how can we improve things, how can we change things for the better, not necessarily for the industry, but for the team that you're working with. How can we improve productivity or what have you? So I think visionary for me is about challenging the status quo and trying to find a better way.
Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. We're probably making history today because we have an architect and a quantity surveyor talking to each other. You know, I think we as architects, we often joke that before I became a BIM consultant, I never really asked quantity surveyors how they do their job. I just expected that they would do it. And you know, when you become a consultant, then you have to begin to talk to people and see how information flows. So it's always fascinating to get different perspectives on things. But I suppose that leads me to a question about how maybe different people or different professions see vision, because, you know, I mean, I think architects are trained to imagine something that doesn't exist and to communicate that thing to other people. So that, I mean, that's in the training, but it's not everybody has that training at school and that. So you know, what's maybe from each of you, you know, do you feel that having a vision is something that everybody should have, has, or needs to learn, or and you know, how do you see different perspectives of vision with the different professions you deal with?
Well, actually, I just as an architect, I think that we are trained somehow to imagine things in our journey, because we are trained to do that also in school, in university, to imagine how would we like to design a project. We already see maybe the end results, and we are trying to accomplish in the phases of one project to accomplish this vision till the end. Actually, what is quite important is to separate between vision and illusion. You know, you have to keep your feet on the ground if you have to imagine something, or you have to visualize something. You have really first to know yourself, your capabilities, and to see that your vision isn't some daydreaming, that it is something that you can really accomplish. It needs just a few steps or something to do. You create the path and you bring your team with you to follow this path. I think this leadership should be always about encouraging people to bring the best of themselves and to convince them that the vision that you see it going to be there. You see the future before it is here, and you have to bring them to believe that it's going to be there, but we have to be ahead of ourselves, because otherwise we will be just rolling behind. And the thing about leadership, I think it's to create little leaders in your teams that you can depend on and bring them on your journey until you get to accomplish your goal. And this is the hard thing, I think, the most hard thing about leadership, also to find it in others.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that is the point. What about
Yeah, I mean,
quantity surveyors and project managers? In, like, I suppose architects would always see quantity surveyors as the people who are the realists and try and bring the fantastic vision down to earth. Are project managers and quantity surveyors have a natural tendency to visionary leadership? Is it something that's taught?
I think the perception of quantity surveyors in particular is they're in the here and now, dealing with the present, and can't look to the future, which I personally would disagree with, because as a quantity surveyor, you have to project the overall budget of a contract, which is a vision.
Yeah.
Now, maybe that projection of that budget sort of knocks some of the edges off of, say, the vision of the architect and brings it back into something that can be achieved, but still stretching the boundaries. So I think the QS can be visionary. I mean, I certainly consider myself to be visionary, what I'm now doing in terms of trying to change how we operate as an industry. But a lot of QSs stay very much in the nitty-gritty of numbers and facts and figures in the present day, and don't think future forward. So there is a correct perception around QSs about their lack of vision, etc. Again, project managers probably, they should have a vision, because they're looking to complete at an end date in 1, 2, 3 years' time, or whatever it may be. So that's their vision. And without that vision, you don't know where you're going. So you've always got to have some sort of vision. But it's whether you embody that into your leadership style to look at the future, to resolve the problems before they arrive. I think that's a key element around those, the technical professions, if you like, are often perceived as not being visionary. I mean, I know architecture has got a technical part to it, but it is very much about the image and coming up with a vision for that building. So I don't know whether that answers your issue. And apologies if you can't see me. I'm having difficulties. I can see myself on the screen, but I'm not sure quite what's happening with my technology today.
Yeah. Maybe if you try to switch your camera on and off again, it might correct itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose. But certainly what I know about you, Ian, is you are quite a different beast when it comes to project management and quantity surveying, because you actually take a much longer term view. You're not only looking at the capital spend, but you're actually looking at the whole life cycle spend, the total cost of ownership, and you're almost inverting, that you don't have these short-term targets, but you have a long-term vision. So that's incredibly laudable.
Thank you.
If only more QAs and project managers, the world would be a better place.
Yeah, I always saw QS as a means to an end, so perhaps I was not a true-born QS in that respect.
Yeah. Anyway, if maybe Yara, back to you, but if you had, as an architect, if you had the opportunity to redesign, the leadership in AEC, like, you had a blank canvas and you could start again, a new drawing board, what would you change? Like, what would be different in your vision of a new AEC sector?
If I have a blank canvas, maybe, I don't know, maybe I start with a mirror. So because the hardcore of leadership is to start with self-awareness. I sketch maybe a structure where decision making is distributed. I don't know, where we can, where innovation, it's not a top-down movement. It's an ecosystem where everyone has a voice, where everyone can share his inputs on the project. Imagine, I don't know, like imagine a BIM workflow where it's not just compliance, it's contribution of all team members, and then you can start, you can analyze, and but that's all starts with self-awareness, with project awareness, the needs, and the thing that you really, to analyze really your need and what you want to do and your goals, and set the goals clear. It's quite uncertain. Maybe the path is uncertain. You have to create it yourself as a visionary, but at least your goals should be clear, should be for you clear. You should be sure that it's not something that will pop off in a few seconds after your dopamine goes down, and then but it will be stable and steady, and you have to focus on it.
Yeah.
So I start maybe by sketching a mirror. I don't know.
Fantastic.
It's
I think
quite-
that's actually a really insightful answer, because I suppose if you think about the difference between managers and leaders, leaders are trying to bring people up to be like them almost. They want people who can think for themselves, who can act for themselves, who can, that don't need instruction. Managers want people who will take instruction.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so a good question if you're a leader and is to ask, do I want other people to be like me? So your answer about staring in the mirror is a good one.
Exactly.
Because maybe you don't want people to be like you, and so you have to emulate what you want in yourself first, and then hopefully
Yes.
people will develop it. I mean, we often say the key thing about leadership is to the ability to create other leaders. Whereas a manager is about sort of controlling or managing other people to do things. Yeah, it's probably a key difference. What about you, Ian? What if you had to start again? How would you change things?
I mean, I start off with picking up with what Yara's just said about awareness. And I think it's twofold. It's being self-aware of yourself and your capabilities and your interaction with people. And then it's being aware of other people, so that you can bring them along with you. So yes, the leadership is fundamentally different to management in that respect, and that you need to be aware of what's going on, almost feel what's going on, so you can pick up the issues and take it forward. And for me, the change is about that awareness. It's making everybody much more connected in the team, so that you are truly collaborating and working together and aware of each other and what the issues are. So you become so much more supportive of each other, instead of the often way of the industry of being at each other's throats or arguing or what have you. It's about trying to understand what everybody's dealing with or trying to solve, or the issues are, and be aware that it could be personal issues that are drawing some of the issues that you've got at work. Not that you should bring issues into work, but it happens. And it's just that self-awareness and awareness generally, so that you can start to work together. That's what I would change, so that you have a true collaborative team working for the common goal and the common vision.
Yeah, and I suppose leadership is something that's reciprocal. In other words, people have to respond to leadership as well. It's fine to have an aspiration to raise people up, but if people don't respond to that call or to that aspiration, and I suppose that's one thing we've noticed in the AEC, that very, very few people are responding to the call to leadership. Most people are keeping their head down and sort of just trying to avoid avoid the call, let's say. What do you think it is that's sort of preventing people from stepping up into that adventure? I mean, I suppose it's part of, I'm sure there's fear, but
I think some of it is cultural, in that we're all technocrats at heart, and we're very good at drawing drawings or designing beams or doing all those calculations, etc. Counting money, looking at charts, all of that technical stuff. But there's probably a lack of education and bringing things forward for people to step up properly into leadership or management first, and then leadership roles, because of our technical background and our skill sets. The technical stuff comes first, always. When you look at your CPD, it's always around your technical competence. Whereas I think leadership needs to be brought far more into that in terms of the education early on.
Yeah. And what about you, Yara? Like, what prompted you to take this difficult journey into the adventure of leadership? Like, were you waiting for someone to give you permission, or was it a self-motivated decision to pursue something better? Or
actually, it was a self-motivating thing. I wanted to be better. I wanted, like I said, as a woman in a dominated men industry, I wanted to set an example, even for also for my daughters, as I come from maybe a little bit of traditional backgrounds, where women are not maybe too much. They do not believe that they can do much. They are always pressured in some in orientations that they are not sure that they can maybe accomplish outside of this box that you have for them. And actually, as I changed my path a few times in the past 20 years, I wanted to set an example for my daughters that women can achieve, really. They can do whatever they want. They can be a mother, you can be a mother, you can be a leader, you can be a manager, you can start a family, and you can provide for your family, and you can do all sorts of things without this boxes that they put you in. But it wasn't an easy journey, let me say, because you have lots of barrier. There's lots of fear of loss of control, uncertainty, or uncomfort. But actually, the thing I learned, one of the things I learned is sometimes when you see resistance, you shouldn't maybe bulldoze it or explode it. You should maybe melt it. And not every mountain worth climbing. Sometimes the bold move is just to stop and change the course and do it in another way. And sometimes it's the most important thing that you will achieve your goal at the end. You do not go back. You do not get a step back if you are not sure that you will be then stepping forward again. And don't give up.
Yeah,
this is the most.
And do you think, I get the sense that a lot of people are waiting for permission, or waiting for some sort of invitation. In BIM Heroes, we try to make everything equal opportunity. But I'll give you a little example. But when we put out a call for speakers for our event, the call goes out to everyone. But we find, this is just an observation, that more men respond to the call. Now, part of that obviously is the fact that there's more men in the industry, but I do get the sense that maybe a lot of women or younger people don't feel confident enough to respond, even when they have the opportunity to either speak at an event or write an article, or just to do something. Obviously, you're someone different. Like you actually responded to the call. You you're taking the pursuit. So what advice would you give to people who maybe say, well, I'd love to do what Yara is doing, but I don't feel I have permission, or I don't have.
I don't think that they do not have to wait for permission. They have to create. They have to permission themselves. The permission comes from themselves. I give permission to myself to step forward and do something. You do not have to get permission from the outside. You not from your boss, or not from your husband, or your family, or you give permission for yourself to go and do it. And you have to stand and say, can I? If I cannot, why I cannot do that? What can I do to be able to do that afterwards? What steps will I have to take? Maybe it will be uncertain. It will be maybe not guaranteed, because there is no guarantees. But you have the honor of trying, and this small effort. I believe that it will come back to you, even if it is small. And when you see that it's come back, you will be more motivated to do more. And step after step, you should have seen me a few years ago. I couldn't say 2 words.
Yeah, fantastic.
Publicly speaking, but
Yeah, so that's you're a great example, not to yourself, but to your daughters and to everyone who's watching you. Yeah, and what about? Yeah, and you've had a long journey, and you described earlier your story where you were thrown into a situation as a young person. What is the role of a teacher or a mentor or an encourager? Somebody who is there not to do the work for you, but to guide you. Did you have anyone like that in your life?
Not until later on in life. I started doing a wider personal development journey in terms of looking at who I am and how I should be. In the early days, I had some good managers there who guided me, but it was very much you paddled your own boat and got on with it. Yeah. And I think, picking up on Yara's point, again, you've got to give yourself permission to push yourself forward, which is a confidence thing. So being visionary in your leadership is also about having the confidence to take that forward, the confidence and belief in what you think about and why you think it is or should be that way. So there's a number of interrelated things here in terms of, giving yourself permission, I agree with, but having the confidence to do that. And I think that comes back to the mentorship side of having people more experienced to guide you and give you the confidence is important in life. We're all too focused on the end product of producing whatever our masters say, whoever those masters are. But in reality, we should be looking at each other to help each other along the way. I was brought up with the...
Oh, we seem to have lost Ian. Hopefully he comes back. Anyway, we're probably getting close to the end of the time now, but Yara, just to kind of end off, there's a Japanese proverb that says that vision without action is just daydreaming or just a dream or something, but action without vision could become a nightmare. What is the relationship between your aspirations, your dreams, your visions, but then the action that's required? How do you think about those two things?
Actually, I think that, like you said, you cannot accomplish anything if you do not have vision and you don't take action to accomplish this vision, to achieve this vision. If you just put action in the middle of the nowhere, you will not go anywhere. You will maybe run in circles, but you will not get one step towards your goals. And if you don't have actions, the vision will stay just in your dreams, in your thoughts. There's nothing there. You just think, I want to be someone. I want to be that one, this thing. But I do not do anything to achieve this. So I will stay where I am, sitting on a chair and dreaming that I will be this someone. And so I have really to see what's in it for me, why I want to do that, why I like to do that, how far am I from this goal, which steps I need to take to arrive there at that point, and do I need someone with me, who I need with me, and I will take in this journey. I need some help, then I go and get help. I need to ask questions. I will not have fear of asking. I will ask. I actually bothered everyone in the first 2 years of my job here with questions, but they were very welcoming. They lift me up. That's something I appreciate in a work environment, that they lift you up and they help you to go wherever you want to go. They always encourage you. They do not say, I don't know, you have to figure it out by yourself. There's no one, you cannot live alone. You have to get a community. A helpful community is very important to help you get where you are. You can ask people that more experienced in that area where you want to be. What do you and then you can ask them, get their help, their advice, and then you take steps, small steps, big steps. It doesn't matter. What matters that at the end you will reach. You will have your vision, and and you will be, I don't know, proud of yourself that you're there.
Yeah,
And
fantastic. Ian, are you back with us? Your microphone's on mute, I think. Ian, okay. I'm not sure.
he should.
Ian, can you unmute?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
I can hear you now.
Right. Sorry about this. I don't know what's going on. Having all sorts of gremlins today.
No problem. Do you want to give us some closing remarks, maybe from your side, Ian? Just what advice would you give to people listening to this call? For their personal lives, for their career, for their project team, for their business.
Sure. I mean, when we say visionary, we always think of an Elon Musk of this world, whether you like him or hate him. He's the visionary that's formed electric cars and tunnels for cars and all this sort of stuff. You see those sorts of people as a visionary. But visionary to me is much more down to earth in every day-to-day life. You have to have a vision no matter what you're doing, is to know where you're going, even in your personal life. When you take an airline pilot, they have a vision. That vision is to get from where I live in Barbados to London Heathrow. So that their vision is London Heathrow Airport. How they get there won't be a straight line. They will move left and right as the winds take them or what have you. And it's being aware of where you're going and correcting what you want to do. My own personal journey, when I started off in my career, I had a vision of where I wanted to be. Where I am now is completely different to where that originally started out to be. And I think being a visionary is about accepting the changes and accepting the journey you're on and going with the path that probably sort of your heart earns the most on, if I can say it that way. So you've got to have that feeling in there that you're on the right path. And if you have that feeling, then your vision is going to come to fruition a lot better.
Yeah. I mean, we've been talking a lot recently about, the world's changing so quickly now with AI and, all the technology. So it's slightly different to your analogy of the airline pilot, because he knows where London Heathrow is. So he has a map to get from Barbados to London Heathrow. But now we're entering a phase where there are no maps. The territory is uncharted. So it's more of a compass now. We need some orientation. We need to be able to make decisions even when we don't know the answers. And I
think that boils down to
kind of a skill that people have to learn now, is that there's so much coming at us. We have to get our heads around. And how do you deal with that, Yara? Do you just put your head in the ground and hope it goes away?
No. Actually, two things. First, the things about leadership, it's You know, when you are a leader, should be always in front of their team when blames are when mistakes are done, when blames are there, and should be behind when rewards are there. They should put their team first when they are rewarded, because it's a team effort. Again, you lead not because it's not about control, it's about service, and it's about bringing the best of the people that you are leading, so they will be a better leader sometimes in the future. This is also the goal of leadership. And the second, it's you use every challenge that comes, you don't think of it as a challenge. It's an opportunity to learn. Your mistakes are opportunity to learn. You learn from your mistakes. You have to believe that you are human. You make mistakes. The thing is that you do not you shouldn't do the same mistake maybe another time. You should learn from your mistake and move forward. And every stone you reach in your path should be a step up. You should use it to get up a little bit more. You do not give up from the first time. You have to embrace your failures. You have to embrace your human nature and the human nature in your teams, because in your team, they are also human and they also make mistakes. And you have to try to see how can you control these mistakes and let them not do the same mistake again, and let them learn from their mistakes, and let them learn to embrace themselves, embrace the challenge, and move forward and be better. This is the whole idea, I think, of at the end of the day from leadership. Otherwise, it's
and I think maybe, and I'm not sure if it's a modern trend, but you know, with all the health and safety and everything, like, people are almost trained not to be adventurous, you know, not to like, in other words, if you don't know what the outcome is going to be, don't even do anything. You know, like, don't try. And we have to almost overcome that sort of safety mentality. Now, I'm not saying you must be reckless, but you have to venture into the unknown to discover something new, and that takes a bit of courage and
yes.
to do that. Yeah. So Ian, let's try and wrap this up.
Sure.
Give us your closing remarks to encourage our community into leadership. How do we encourage people to step up and take leadership?
I think it comes back to what I just previously said. It's about belief in yourself to achieve things, and it's about committing yourself to improving not just yourself, but the community that you are within, whether it be this community or the project you're on or the company you work for. It's just being engaged and committed to improve things as you go forward.
Yeah, fantastic. Any final remarks from you, Yara, that you want to leave with the community to inspire them to follow in your footsteps?
Actually, all I have to say, just don't be afraid. There is nothing certain, nothing guaranteed in this life. You just have to step forward. And if you have the vision, then the innovation or the ideas comes as it's a vision. Is if the vision is the seed, then innovation is the fruit of these seeds. And you cannot go, it's aimless to go to innovate without vision, and it's helpless to have a vision without innovation, without working to get there. So this synergy is the right maybe the right way to do this synergy between vision and innovation. And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to make decision. Decide, analyze your needs. Be truthful to yourself. This is leave your feet on the ground, and don't afraid to have a vision and go for it. And join us.
Fantastic.
Where we change the future. I think we are doing quite a great job.
This is a great start to this series. I mean, that's what we want more than anything in BIM Heroes community, is to bring a lot of people along this journey of leadership. Because our sector needs that desperately. Like we need more young people to have the courage to step up. We need more women. We need more, we need everybody to, the industry needs a lot of people, but it doesn't need a lot of people just to follow instructions. We've got AIs now for that. What we need people to think, to imagine, to make ethical decisions, and to move forward. So I do hope everybody will continue to join us on this series as we go for the next 8 weeks and talk to different leaders in our community. So next week, the topic will be authentic presence, and the session will be hosted by Larry Bridgesmith, who is our chairperson of the Leadership Council, and we'll have Alshima Alam and Daniel Stephen join us on that call. So please do tune in for the next sessions. Thank you, Ian, and thank you, Yara, for
Ralph.
Great decision and discussion, and we look forward to continuing this journey. Thank you, everybody, for attending. Talk to you soon.
Thank you everybody for being there. Thank you.
Yes, thanks a lot. Bye.